Happy Wednesday, everybody. We're joined by an extra special guest on the Pig Trail Nation set tonight, and that's the one, the only Samara Spencer. We've had her on our show before, and it was great to get to talk to her before, so we're bringing her back on during the season to get a little update on how she's doing during the season, too. And Samara, I want to start off by talking about how the team's been doing overall so far. I mean, you guys had a pretty intense week. You went down to Florida, you took on a top 15 opponent in FSU, and you upset them in their home on their home court, which was pretty exciting. Then you came back here to Bud Walton Arena, and then you took on the number 2 team in the nation in UCLA. And unfortunately, I know you guys would have liked that game to go a little bit differently, but how do you feel like the team is doing so far 9 games into the year?
I feel like we're doing great, honestly. Nabe said that was kind of like our toughest stretch. We played Marquette the first time we went to Florida, which is a top 25 team now. They weren't when we played them, though. And then we went down there and we played Florida State again, and then we came back and played UCLA. So just getting to go against competition like that as the SEC is starting to roll around, I think is really good for us. I feel like it kind of helps us kind of know where we are and what we need to work on and what we're pretty good at already, so that when the SEC comes, when it comes time for us to play in the SEC, that, it's kind of easy for us to like be clicking on all on the same cylinders.
And I feel like you guys are clicking now in different spots. You can kind of see the team coming together. How important is that before the SEC slate comes up, in January?
Yeah, so I mean, it's super important. The SEC is no joke this year. There's a lot of great teams and a lot of great players that we're gonna have to face. And so I feel like the fact that we're kind of clicking going into winter break, when school's out, when we're not gonna really see each other very much, around Christmas time, just because a lot of us are going to be home away from our families. So the fact that we can build and have that chemistry and be clicking before we go, so that when we come back, it's just we're going to jump right back into it and that we're going to be ready to play in the SEC, I feel like is very important.
Sam, talking about that Florida State game, you got a career milestone in it, getting in the 1,000 points club, which is really impressive because I think you've done it in like 2 years and just 9 games, which is insane to even think about. And then you got to do it in Florida in front of your family and friends. I mean, what was that moment like for you, and how good does it feel to be in that club?
Honestly, it was a really special moment. One of my closest friends actually plays for Florida State, so the fact that we beat them on their home court and then I scored my 1,000 points, it was kind of like a funny moment for us. We grew up together, and that was our first time ever playing each other. And she's actually one of the only people. I have a lot of friends who play basketball around, like women's college basketball, but she's actually one of the first that I've actually ever played. So for it to be, we went down there, we showcased what we could do, we beat a top 15 opponent, and then it being my 1,000 points, it was honestly awesome.
Who's the friend that you got to play against?
Number 3, Omaria Gordon.
Oh, I love that. I had no idea y'all had a relationship. That is awesome to know, though. Did you guys get to talk after the game, kind of catch up?
Yeah, we actually, one of my other teammates actually is a manager for their team. So we all kind of like, our families got to see each other. We got to take pictures after the game. It was just kind of like a full circle moment for us.
I think that's so special too, that you get to hit that career milestone in front of those people, against a friend of yours. I'm sure she was like, dang, I'm happy for Sam, but man, did it have to be against us?
Right, right. Yeah, that's honestly what she said after the game. She was like, dang, like you guys beat us. Like that's just what it was. We came out there and we played to the best of our abilities, and we got a win when we went down there.
Sam, before I turn it over to Kevin to ask you a few questions about how your specific season has been going, we asked you this kind of before the season began on our first Zoom with you, but where do you think this team can go this year? It feels like you guys are right now, like you said, you're trying to get gelling at the right moments before SEC play. SEC play is going to be no joke this year, but do you guys think that you have an opportunity to make the NCAA tournament this year and be really, really competitive in the SEC?
Well, I think, yes, we do have the chance to make the NCAA tournament this year. I feel like with a good win against Florida State, we showcased really good against UCLA. I feel like a lot of those things take part in the decisions when it comes to like the end of the season and when they put people in the tournament. So I feel like if we just keep on the track that we're on, showcasing what we can do, either keeping it close or beating really good teams, I think that, we can get in towards the end of the year.
Perfect. I will pass it over to Kevin now because I know he has a couple questions for you too.
Good evening, Miss Samara. How are you tonight?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I always love talking hoops. You guys were talking about that schedule. I want to get to you personally in your game, but real quick on the schedule, I noticed in the state of Arkansas the fact that the Razorbacks play all of the other Division One schools, and that's kind of become a thing lately. Is that talked about, making sure you're the Arkansas state champions, and how important it is maybe for some of the players who come from the state, or are they just the next game and those are just they just kind of blend in? Because I know SEC's obviously its own season. You mentioned some of the big matchups already, but you've already gotten a 3-0 run through some of the in-state schools with UAPB Pine Bluff. The next opportunity soon.
Honestly, it kind of is talked about a little bit, but we don't really like dwell on it just because we're trying to go out there to win a game. It doesn't really matter who we're playing. But the fact that it is against other D1 Arkansas schools is actually pretty cool because, there's a lot of history behind a lot of that. And a lot of us don't know the history or have been taught the history for the past, like I've been taught the past history, like the history for the past 2 years that I've been here. The whole Arkansas State when they beat Arkansas and it was a big deal and they made a movie out of it. Like that's what Naves talks about every time we play Arkansas State. So just being able to, learn about that stuff and then be able to go out and actually beat those people is actually pretty special.
Okay, now I was looking at some statistics, and the last time we talked to you, I continue to see a player who you cannot be defined by one aspect of the game. I mean, you're one of 4 double figure scores on this team. We know you're an all SEC performer in your career so far. Courtney mentioned just getting to the 1,000 point club, but you lead the team in assists, over 3 assists per game. You're a strong rebounder at the guard spot. You're top 3 on the team in steals. You hardly ever foul, barely 1 foul per game. So you're not putting the other team on the free throw line. And then an 80% free throw shooter. So you're clutch and sometimes you got to close games out or get through a stretch by knocking down free throws. Tell me, I mean, I'm going through it statistically. I see you as an all around player, just a very good all around player, but I want to hear it from your perspective where you see yourself not only statistically, but your actual impact and value in games.
Well, yeah. So honestly, it's never been like a lot of people are kind of like either scoring focused or like, I want to get this much, I want to get that much. But me, I just honestly let it come to me. It's never been a thing for me to like, go seeking things out. I'm trying to help my team in any aspect of the game that I can that night. So if they need me to be scoring, I'm going to be scoring. If they need me to be passing and assisting, I'm going to be doing that. If they need me to be rebounding, I'm going to be doing that. If they need me to be playing good defense, I'm going to be doing that. So just being able to night in, night out, help my team with no matter what they need is my goal every time I step out on the court.
Well, and I certainly see your impact that way, but you've got also new players take on different roles and dynamics on teams. And I wanted to ask you about being a mentor along maybe with Michaela Daniels, with a talent like Talia Scott coming, because you've been the talk of the town as a freshman, and now you can mentor someone who's got some of those all conference kind of traits, and showing them what all that goes into being a college player. Will you talk a little bit about that role? And this question, by the way, comes from Dudley Dawson over here at hogville.net. He covers the women's basketball program as our beat reporter, beat writer for that. But he wanted me to ask you about that part of your role now as being a mentor.
Honestly, whatever way she needs us, we're there for her. Our coaches do a good job of helping her. But we're the ones on the court with her. So whatever she needs, we're there to help her with. She's very knowledgeable, so she doesn't really need a lot of help with a lot of things, as a lot of people could tell. She's a great scorer. She has a great feel for the game, but any way that we can be there to help her, we are. It's very rarely that she does need help just because of the player that she is. But when she does, we are there for her. Yes.
Okay. And thank you. And before I pitch it back over, wishing you much continued success. I think this is a very good basketball team. A big reason for that is you. So thank you, Samara.
Thank you.
Sam, I kind of want to snowball a little bit off of Kevin's his last question. He talks about how you were the talk of the town as a freshman. Now, Talia is getting SEC Freshman of the Week 3 times. You won it an incredible amount during your freshman season. You were named SEC Freshman of the Year as well. Do you kind of see a little bit of yourself in her, or do you see kind of where you guys differ from a freshman who was had a freshman season like that to now her?
We differ in a very big way. I don't think I would be capable of coming out and having to score 20 points a night. I think it's just like she's a very good scorer. And I know I wasn't capable of that in my freshman season, but I still was able to, do the little things and do what my team needed for me. And I still ended up winning that award. So the fact that she has scoring as like the number one thing, and then she does all the other little things to help our team, I feel like she can probably be the next one to win the award and bring two home for Arkansas Razorbacks in the past 3 years.
I mean, that would feel pretty good for you too. Like you were like, okay, we're keeping it in the family a little bit, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that, Samara. Where do you feel like, through 9 games now? I mean, I said this to you before the season started, and I'm seeing it like Kevin is on the court. You just do everything that's needed of you. Where do you feel like there's a part of your game that has grown, that you've seen it grow maybe in the past 9 games that you kind of didn't realize might have happened?
I would definitely say I think my passing has gotten a lot better. I've taken more pride in rebounding. I kind of go down there actually now. Before I used to kind of like stand on the perimeter and whatever balls dropped, I was the one to get those. But I kind of like actually go down there and I bang with the people that are rebounding now. And then I definitely say my free throw shooting. I've been working on it a lot since last season, in the summer. And then prior to when we went over to Europe, I was working on it. So just the fact that all of my work in that aspect of my game is translating. And as Kevin said, I'm an 80% free throw shooter. I think that showcases a lot.
Yeah, you've gotten stronger. I think you even said that in our first Zoom with you before the season began. You're like, I've gotten stronger, and we've seen that
You
now.
did.
You're not afraid to get in there and go, like you said, you're not on the perimeter anymore. You're going in there. You're getting down and dirty, so to speak, with everybody else, which I kind of love. And I feel like that also increases your confidence as a player, right?
Yeah, if it isn't my night in the scoring column and I can go down there and grab a few rebounds for my team, I'm hyped up because at least I'm doing something. Like if I'm not doing anything for my team, that's kind of where I'm like, okay, like we need to start doing something. But if I can get down there, if I can rebound, if I can assist, if I can, cause a turnover or two, that's just what I'm going to be doing. So just to be able to like have that confidence in myself that you can do anything that you put your mind to. I think that's my biggest thing this year.
Sam, I love the team, you guys this year, because you feel so connected and close together. And we saw the NASA jackets, over like leading into the season. It just feels like every year you guys, while everyone else may have a lot of turnover in the SEC, you guys are close knit. You've stayed together. Why do you think this team has been like that over the past couple of years, and how do you think that will help you?
I think just the leaders that we've had over the past few years. My freshman year, it was Amber Ramirez. She was the leader. Last year, it was, Mac. She was the leader. And this year, it's kind of like me and Mac and a little bit of Sailor too. I just feel like the fact that we have, strong-minded people who are leading us, I feel like that's why we're clicking so well. That's why we don't have very many like problems on the court, is because, we have people who are level-headed and in different ways can help our team and lead our team.
And real quick, before I let you go, I did want to ask this too. B. Franklin, Arkansas soccer player, joining the team. How's that been like for you guys? What is that? How has she been in practice? I got to know. I'm very curious.
She's an energizer bunny. Like she brings the energy all the time. She's always encouraging everybody, always giving everybody high fives. She is a pretty good basketball player, I will say. She's very fast. Her soccer skills did translate in that aspect. She's very fast and she's left-handed. So, left-handed players, they always fascinate me a little bit. So the fact that she's speedy, she's left-handed, she just helps us get better day in and day out. So I'm really glad that she decided to, join us.
I love that. And I love to hear that she's doing well with you guys too. It's nice to see another team take her in. I'm sure it's a little weird going into it kind of when you're already started the season, but I love that you guys have taken her in and she's a part of the team now. That's all I have for you, Sam. Kevin, do you have anything else for Samara?
I don't, other than to congratulate her again on being an integral part to a team that's having success already. You're always fascinated when you look at players navigate through their careers, and she's been consistently good for Arkansas. Gives this team a chance to go a long way, and just listening to her in an interview, the way that she candidly answers everything, I'm a little bit jealous. I remember many years ago I wasn't very good, and I'm still not. So I'm learning. Thank you for coming on here and helping me out tonight, Samara.
Thank you.
Yeah, Sam, we love having you on the show. I'm sure we'll have you on the show again before it's all said and done because people just love you so much. Just like Kevin said, we love having you on. People love listening to you. So you're just a joy to have. So thank you so much for coming on and joining us tonight and giving up a little bit of your time. Obviously, I know you have a lot of work to do with finals coming up, or finals are going on right now, and then getting ready for that crazy SEC season that's going to be coming on y'all real soon.
Yes. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks.
That's going to do it for us here tonight. Thank you so much for joining.